Toodle do, my merry band of bitches. It's your boy, Dr. Goon. And today we have a special video. Turns out you guys really want to see the Blob being a fat menace. I actually started a server with all the fat characters in comics. I'm going to be doing all their feats, statement, lore, jobbing moments, all that Goon moments, of course. Francis P. Dukes is probably my favorite fat boy in comics. He goes hard. The Blob is the man. And we're going to actually do his Goon videos in chronological order of when he appeared and got active. So if you guys are a big fan of the Goon series and are looking forward to seeing what the Blob does, smash the like button. Let's get this at 300 plus likes. That would be absolutely amazing. But without further ado, let's get into his Goon moments and Blob being a fat menace. Now, first was when the X-Men tried to recruit him, right? First of all, he's not a narc, so I don't know why they thought this would go over well. But my boy pulled up dripped out, right? Came through with the sweater, all that, looking swaggy as hell. The X-Men run him through strength tests. Keep in mind, these are the tests that Russian fraud Colossus and that hairy bitch Beast do, right? Like the strongest X-Men partake in this. They are nothing to Blob. Matter of fact, after he smokes them and embarrasses the X-Men because they just don't have shit that really is lit to him, he hits the pipe. He smokes the pipe and is like, yo, y'all are trash. These tests are trash. Respect my hustle. And that's it. It leads to a crazy brawl after that, which we're about to get into. Now, this is when Blob had to show the X-Men for the first time what those hands are about, right? And there was no fair 1v1. Like, they didn't pull up on him for a fair scrap. In fact, it included the group was like Angel, Cyclops, Iceman, and Beast, among others. They pull up and he said, yo, I know y'all are trying to jump the kid, but you can't check the guy. Proceeds to start swinging, putting all of them in a blender and actually won. He clutched up by himself. That's when we see Blob was sick of the shit, right? He's like, you know what? I might be a mutant. They're mutants, but we're not on the same team. They're trying to be on some narc shit. I'm not with that. We're not the feds. What's Blob do? Well, initially he started out in the carnival, right? So he goes back to the carnival and he tells the carnies, yo, lock in with me. We're about to go fold the X-Men and run off on the plug. Proceeds to bring the carnival freaks with him and actually clutches up on the X-Men. Literally runs through them to the point that Professor X is like, oh my god, I need to let Jean Grey know how to survive this because the X-Men are getting hooked right now. This leads us into a hilarious run-in with Magneto. Now, obviously, this is early Magneto where he's scheming on the X-Men, but Magneto's not trying to fight the whole roster by himself, so he's got to recruit some talent. He pulls up to a show, Blob tanks a cannonball, no problem. Just is like, yeah, this is weak shit. That's when Magneto gets into it with Blob to see what he's made of. Well, Blob accidentally set off a mental probe in Magneto's mind because Professor X had to mess with the mind of Blob, and then Blob was like, oh shit, I'm a goon. I forgot about that because the professor did that stupid shit. Pulls up on Magneto, actually puts Magneto in a chokehold, put the hands on him. They went back and forth to the point that Magneto said, okay, first of all, let's stop beefing because honestly, you're my number one pick. Like, you're the GOAT. I want you on my team. And that's how Blob and Magneto became boys because Blob is that big of a goon. We then proceed to see another day at the office for Blob. What's he do at the office? He hands out fraud checks. Of course, the X-Men, they never throw the fair ones, right? They're all about that jumping shit. They're really immature. And they pull up on Blob. And they're like, yo, you can't beat all of us. And Blob said, yes, I can. Proceeds to start fighting all of them. Fraud checks are being signed. Down goes Angel, that flapping wing bitch, right? Down goes Jean Grey. She can't actually move him and puts a strain on herself. This is terrible. He's up on the scoreboard heavy right now, just making moves on them. And Magneto drops him in alone because he knows he can get active alone. That's how crazy Blob is with it. We then see later, X-Men issue 20, Blob is hanging out with his boy, right? Like, they really become friends. after this. They're hilarious friends. Unis the Untouchable, whose mutant power is you can't touch him. It's some funny shit, right? So Blob's power, if you didn't know, is he makes himself so fat, his molecules react to himself, and you can't move the boy, and he's strong as hell. They dress up as X-Men, right? And they're like, yo, let's play a prank of the century. They proceed to go out and start robbing banks dressed up as X-Men just to make the X-Men look bad. They're like, yo, cops, we're X-Men. Try to arrest us, you can't, bitch. Start swinging on cops, robbing banks, running off literally on the plug, and framing the X-Men all in one job. We then see later the X-Men run down again. They're just not learning their lessons about messing with Big Blob, right? Angel pulls up, gets blitzed by Blob. First of all, getting blitzed by Francis B. Dukes is embarrassing. That boy is fat as hell. And the X-Men literally say, they see him putting in work, they're like, oh my god, this man is invulnerable. Like, we really can't mess with him if he's on his A game. This is when we see that hairy fraud Beast pull up, right? And I'm just gonna be real with y'all. Straight up, he's superior to Beast by a pretty large margin. He also had gotten up from getting jumped way sooner than they thought, proceeds to start putting the beat down on Beast. Beast can't fuck with him. I'm sorry. Beast is kind of trash compared to Blob. Puts hands on him and is like, yo, please tell me y'all updated the roster. Like, please tell me y'all got someone that'll give me a good fight, because everyone else is trash. We even see him go on to take on a blood-lusted Beast. This was in Amazing Adventures 13. This Beast was so OD when he was tripping off the Yerks that he literally folded Iron Man prior, right? Unis and Blob pull up on him and start clowning him. They're like, yo, you don't know. What are you going to do? Move me? What are you going to do? Touch Unis? And they start just toying with him. The same Beast that bodied Iron Man. Iron Man in this era took down Silver Surfer. Now, make with that what you will, because Silver Surfer sucks, but you get what I mean. He's no walk in the park, but they bully the shit out of him. We then see probably one of the most hype matchups ever. I was so ready for this as a guy reading Blob. Defenders 15, Hulk versus Blob. Blob pulls up and is like, yo, Hulk, they say you're strong as hell. I say you're weak as hell. And Hulk, of course, he's not with the chit chat. This is OG Hulk. He starts swinging, right? Blob laughs at him, laughs at the Hulk's attempt to hurt him, and says, yo, too fat for this shit. Puts hands on Hulk, has a back and forth with Hulk, and Hulk could not hurt him. And before y'all say, okay, him, going back and forth with Hulk, fluke shit. First of all, fights him several times. But second of all, that's not the only big dog he's embarrassed, right? Defender 63. Hercules pulls up for the smoke. Hercules sees Blob, and Blob says, yo, I'm the fattest in this bitch, and you can't move me. It's a god, so he's not going for that, right? He's like, dude, I've literally killed gods. Like, I'm gonna put hands on you. Swings on Blob, and Blob laughs at him. That's right. Couldn't even move the Blob with his swing. What makes this worse? As Hercules is swinging, he goes, oh my god. This is the same power. This is the same punch I used to drop Atlas. Y'all know how strong Atlas is. Literally one of the gods of Marvel. That same punch didn't do shit to Blob, as Blob says, we eat those. Like, you are trash. He then later goes back and forth with Hercules again. As Hercules, at this point, is like, okay, Blob, I hit you with a strong blow before. Like, I hit you with the strength to take down Atlas. I'm really going to try to fuck you up right here. Blob goes, bro, you can talk as much as you want. You can be as godly as you want to be. At the end of the day, it's Big Francis P. Dukes, bitch. And they go back and forth, and Herc can't take him down. Even going all out in wrath, he still couldn't move Big Blob. I'm telling you guys, say what you want about Blob. I'm sure a lot of people had misconceptions about Blob before going into this video. But he's all for the smoke. Puts hands on Herc, goes back and forth with him while joking, and Herc could not take him down. I'm sorry. Blob's on my GOAT list. In fact, halfway through his appearances, he has a record of 14 wins, 7 losses, 3 draws, with some of the draws being like Hulk and Hercules. To be honest, His resume is crazy. As a villain that doesn't even get that much shine, he does quite well, and he's usually getting jumped and still balling regardless. I'm excited to see how he ends up record-wise, and I want you guys to tell me, what do you think of Blob? Are you a fan of the Blob? If you weren't before, are you a fan now of Big Francis? Let me know in the comment section down below, and join my Discord server where we do games, prizes, D&Ds, giveaways, and more. But anyways, it's been your boy, Dr. Goon, and I will see y'all later. Shout out to Goon Nation. Peace.